Hi, so I'm Michelle.
Hi.
I'm Rima.
Rima, hi. And?
I'm Rashid.
Rashid.
And Rashid. Those are really nice names. Okay, so I just want you to know that I'm an MFT trainee, and I'm under the supervision of Dr. Bert Weiner, who is a licensed psychotherapist. He's a licensed MFT. I want you to know everything that we discuss will stay in this room. It's totally confidential, but if there's a suspicion of child abuse or elder abuse, or if I feel there's harm to yourself or harm to others, then I would have to break confidentiality for that. Do you have any questions so far?
I think we're good so far.
Okay. As far as fees, I charge $150 an hour. My cancellation policy is at least 24 hours in advance by telephone. You can leave a voicemail. If not, then you will be charged for the full hour. Also, you know that a therapy hour is not really an hour, it's 50 minutes. Do you have any questions so far?
No, so far.
No.
Okay, and also as part of informed consent, I want you to know that things, they may feel like they're getting worse before they do get better, but I will be here for you every step of the way. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any questions? Anything you need to clarify?
I don't think
No.
yeah. I think you covered it.
Okay. Great. So, do you have something for me? Some forms or?
I don't.
Okay.
No, we don't.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what brings you in today?
Well, we've just really been having trouble communicating. I don't know. I just feel very disconnected from him.
Okay.
It's kind of been going on for a while.
Yeah, we seem to get in a lot of arguments, and especially about our about our communication in general. That's what kind of sparks the fights.
You're actually arguing about your communication? Is that
Oh no,
Well, sometimes. I mean, I feel like we just get in a lot of arguments about kind of everything. So much so that the kids are starting to notice like we're just fighting a lot, and it's
Right.
a lot of fighting.
Can you remember when this first started?
It's been going on for a while, I feel. I just feel really unsupported and just kind of alone, and just like he doesn't really listen to me and my needs.
yeah, but I feel like I'm very not respected very much around the house.
Okay.
So there's that problem first, but
How do you feel you're not respected?
well, I just feel that when the kids see us arguing and fighting at home, she feels that I don't stand up for her when the fight gets to a point where it's where our daughter is not being disciplined well, and that's basically what makes us fight the most. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, we argue a lot, particularly about our daughter. I don't know. I feel like he shouldn't have much of a say as to how we're disciplining our kids. I mean, he's off at work all day, and I'm the one staying home with the kids, and I get really frustrated when he criticizes me and my parenting skills because I feel like I have no help. I feel like you're just at work and you're doing your thing, and you come home and you just kind of check out with me, and I don't know what to do.
Well, you could see how I would check out though, because of all the fighting that's going on at home, I like to get away from that. That's my way to escape. So
Well, I don't know how to connect with you if you're just gonna be so disconnected when you come home.
that's why we're here, right? So trying to figure out how to fix this problem right here.
When you're at home alone, Rima, you're dealing with the children? I'm sorry, how many children do you have?
We have two.
Two.
We have a daughter and a son.
Okay, and which is the elder?
The son's 11 and our daughter is 7.
Okay.
And our daughter's the one who's not respecting us, which is it's not very it's not in line with expectations of our parenting, because when I started to get to know my daughter more, and then she started to like act out in terms of discipline, or she would throw tantrums. Basically, that was the problem.
I don't see them as tantrums. I see, like, she's just a little girl. I think that she's fine. I think he's way too hard on the kids. He spanks them, and I definitely disagree with that. And I know that that's how you were raised, but I just think it's just too violent, and I don't like it. I don't like how your family makes me feel about it. They always say, oh, all the bad behavior must come from her side of the family. I really, and I feel like you just don't stand up for me when they say those kinds of things, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah. How am I supposed to stand up to them though if they're part of my family? So it's really hard for me to
Yeah, but
do
I'm
that.
your wife. You need to be on my side, not on your parents' side. And I just feel really underappreciated, and I feel like you attack me, and your family attacks me, and how I try and take care of our children.
Rashid, I was wondering how you feel about hearing that you're spanking your daughter is violent. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I just spank the traditional way with the hand. I mean, I don't use a wooden spoon or anything like that. I mean, my parents raised me, they would spank me with a belt, actually.
Mhm.
So I don't see it as a problem.
I just think it's so violent, and I really don't. I don't like it.
How did you feel when you got in trouble with your parents and they?
I felt very shamed, and like I did something wrong. Obviously, that's what happens, but most of the time it would be about shame. Like I would feel like I did something that caught their attention, and they wanted to reprimand me for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think, if you can look back on that, would you prefer that your parents didn't use a belt on you?
When I look back on it now, I probably would say yes.
Mhm.
They probably shouldn't have, but it's hard to say because now
But you want to do those kinds of things to our children. So which one is
Yeah.
it? It's very frustrating that you still want to spank them when we've talked about it, and I thought we weren't going to, and you still do.
yeah. Is there a way to how do I disconnect from my upbringing
Mhm.
and to avoid bringing that into my own experience as a father? How do I do that?
Well, you would. How do you think you would do it?
Probably start by talking to my parents about it and kind of processing it, I guess, figuring out what's going on with there.
Do you think they would be open to having you talk to them about something like that?
I don't think they would. That's my opinion. I don't think they would.
I mean, I would hope they would be. I'm not sure if they would though. But it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. So
But let's think about you and Rima together with your immediate family, aside from your parents. Now, you decided together that you wouldn't spank, correct? Did I hear that correct?
I thought that we did. I mean, I don't know if we really. Maybe we didn't
I
talk
don't know
about
if
it.
we did that actually. That's a good question.
Yeah, maybe I just assumed that we wouldn't, and
Mm-hmm.
and then now he is, and I don't appreciate it. I don't like it.
How am I supposed to? Yeah, but how am I supposed to know that if you don't tell me? You know, that's the. You
Well,
know,
I'm telling you now. So,
right.
but yeah, I don't appreciate that you don't stand up for me in front of your parents. That's a big thing. I just feel very alone. You know, I'm trying my best with the kids, and I feel like you just criticize me, and then you and your family criticizing me, and it doesn't feel good.
Right. It's definitely something I need to work on for sure to stand up for.
Well, I just want to say that's really great that you are willing to do that. I mean, we brought up two issues, and you're already willing to work on both of them.
Slowly but surely. I mean, it'll take time, definitely. It's not something that will happen overnight, right? So, but
Well,
yeah.
It's a big step that you came here today, and you came together, and
Yeah.
you're really open to trying things. And
Yeah, I really don't know how we were able to because we were in so many fights before, and well, we still are, but our children see us fight, and that's the part that
That's what I'm
really
worried about
scares.
the most. Is the kids seem very distraught when we fight. Like
Mhm.
they've brought it up many times, and you know I don't want to raise them in a household where we're just fighting all the time. But I don't know what else to do. We're just so disconnected right now.
Right.
I don't know what to do. I feel like you're saying you want to change, but I don't know if you're going to. It's hard for me to believe right now because it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
could you think of maybe how? I'm just thinking in terms of frequency. How often are you getting into these fights?
I mean, basically daily, I would say.
After
Probably daily, yeah.
Yeah.
after you get home from work, that's when it
Mhm.
starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to maybe encapsulate this. So you're home with the children. Well, they go to school, or are you homeschooling?
And no, they go to school.
Okay, and then they come home, and then and I'm sure you carpool or
Yeah.
You have a
we
lot
have
of-
a routine. Mm-hmm.
okay, and then you are with the children until she gets home. And what time would that be?
That would be around, like, before dinner, so like 5:45 or 6, about,
Okay,
like 6 o'clock, yeah.
and then when you get home, as soon as you get home, what happens?
Well, I try to kind of, set down my stuff and kind of, I want to say escape from the possibility of the fight. So I
Mhm.
kind of just like go to another place that's quiet or, that's not, that doesn't provoke a fight that could happen. I guess for me, I'm kind of afraid of the fight in general too. So.
Well, when you come home, do you greet them, so they know you're home, or are you skulking off immediately?
No, he does. It's just like the kids get really excited, and sometimes if they get excited, or maybe they start fighting, and that's kind of when it all unravels. Is if there's a different disagreement between the two of them, or if one of them won't let the other play with something, or they won't share, that's kind of when it all starts.
Mhm.
It's all, yeah, it happens often.
And Rima, what about you when you know that it's almost time for him to come home? What is that like for you? That maybe half hour that you're kind of.
I just feel kind of anxious. I just feel like I just don't want to be in another fight, and I don't know how. I don't know. We're just so disconnected. I feel like no matter what I say, I feel like I've tried so many times, and no matter what I say, it's just always the same fight, the same everything, and I feel like we're just stuck, and I feel like you're just not on my side.
Yeah, well, I definitely tend to shut down as well, so I think that plays into it a little bit. But especially like emotionally shut down. That's kind of one of my problems. That's why I like to kind of.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so frustrated because I feel like you're not really trying.
Yeah, I may not be trying, I guess, as hard as I could, but I don't know. That's not sure what else I could do. I mean,
Well, you could just stand up for me. That would be, one thing, especially with your family. I keep going back to that because it's just so frustrating. You know, I'm trying my best, but I feel like no matter what I do, it's not good enough.
Do you see your families a lot? That this would come up pretty regularly?
Yeah, most weekends
Pretty
we'll
often.
spend time with his family.
yeah, probably. Yeah, pretty often, I would say.
Yeah.
Or at least we try to when we can. Yeah.
Okay. And what kinds of things do you do with his family?
We'll do like a Sunday dinner. We'll kind of go over there on most Sundays and just kind of spend the day with his parents, and the kids will play and hang out with their grandparents.
Mhm.
But yeah, if they are misbehaving, I just don't feel the need to spank them, and I get they blame me for their bad behavior.
Well, then, what do you think? How should we discipline them? What do you?
Well, I don't know. I just don't want to be violent. I mean, I tried talking with them. That's another thing is I don't really know what to do.
Right.
I just know spanking is not what I want to do. I feel like they're just kids, and we'll figure it out. they'll grow out of it.
Well, we could come up with an alternative to spanking.
Mhm.
I'm sure you've heard of a timeout. That seems to be pretty prevalent now.
We could try that.
Have you tried it?
No, we have.
Oh,
I don't think we have.
Yeah, we could try that.
But I don't know if it would help so much because our daughter's very, very confrontational when it comes to discipline. So she'll definitely try to get out of the discipline any way she can. So
And is that when you spank
that's
at
when
that point?
I have to, or I feel I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Right.
So yeah, and of course, depending on the age of the child, it starts with timeouts, and then it goes into maybe loss of privileges or loss of or taking away of something that they like, and
Mm-hmm.
those seem to be pretty effective.
I mean, I don't know how you were disciplined. So were you ever spanked, or I don't know. I don't even know. We don't really talk about that. So.
No, I wasn't. I think I was just a good kid. I think. I don't remember getting in trouble, so I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could try the timeout thing. Is there anything else that we could try besides that, do you think?
Again, there's the loss of privilege,
Oh, yeah, like taking something away.
and
Yeah, we can take away her toys or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and our son is older than our daughter, and he's kind of like, he doesn't really get in trouble that often.
mhm.
So when he sees the daughter get in trouble or spanked or anything, he doesn't, it's kind of like something he doesn't expect it to happen. Or, sorry, no, no, he expects it to happen, yeah.
Yeah, but you blame me when they're acting out. You say that it's my fault that they're in bad moods or they start fighting, and I don't see how it's my fault at all. I mean, they're just kids. They get in fights, they get in arguments, but you always blame me.
I guess I could try to point the finger less, but I mean, where else am I going to point the finger, right?
Well, if you helped me a little more with their, disciplining them, in a better way.
Yeah, so I see like we're constantly blaming each other for this whole thing. We're just like pointing fingers back and forth at each other, and then like nothing helps, and then that's why we're here. So
Yeah, and then there's just such a disconnect. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just I don't feel like.
it's almost like we're roommates.
Yeah.
Like I come home and then
Yeah,
like
I
just
can
kinda-
feel like that sometimes.
Can I ask you, do you two ever go out just together without your children?
It's been a long
not very often.
It's been a really long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So
And is it something you would like to do, or is it just that you are avoiding each other?
yeah, I mean, I think we are. Yeah, we're definitely avoiding each other.
I mean,
But-
I've just tried. I feel like I've tried for so long that I kind of have just stopped trying because I just don't feel like you really care. I feel like it's just you're kind of going through the motions and
But then that's how you go on blaming me again. You say I don't care. I mean,
that's well actions. Your actions are showing me this. I've tried. I'll be like, hey, let's go on a date, and you'll say no. You just want to stay home.
I feel
You
like
don't wanna go anywhere.
I would be willing to do that again, or try it. But if once we get this whole thing figured out, because we're not like in sync at all, so we're constantly fighting.
Well, at this point, I don't even really feel like going on dates with you because I feel like we would just start arguing again, just having the same conversation, but without her.
Right. Yeah, so you can see our problem, right? I think it would help though if we were to try that though. Yeah.
But I don't really feel like it. Why? I don't really want to at this point. I feel like I need to see a change in you before it's gonna take a long time for me to trust you again because I don't feel like you care. I don't feel like you're on my side.
What can he do that would make you feel that he cared? If he could just do one thing.
Well, standing up for me in front of your family would be a big thing. I mean, I feel like the second they start blaming me for the kids and their bad behavior, you're usually just silent and you just kind of like let them go and do their thing, and instead of defending me, and it just makes me feel.
I don't really like conflict in general too. So I mean, yeah. So
Yeah, but I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, they're your family. I mean, I can argue.
I feel like I could keep the peace if I just let them kind of handle it.
That doesn't. But then that creates all this sadness in me. How does that solve anything by you being quiet about it? I feel I need you to be on my side. I don't want you to just go with your family. We got married so that we could be together and we could have our own family and our own traditions. We don't have to keep doing things the way that your family wants to do them.
Right. Yeah. Our families definitely have influenced us a lot. So.
Is there something that Rima can do for you that would make you feel more connected to her?
Well, besides the going out, I'm not really sure what else would help. I mean, I guess I don't really feel respected very much around the house, but we are not very intimate that often, so that could probably help a little bit
Okay.
as a result of all this arguing, and we feel disconnected. So
It's hard to want to be with you. I don't feel like sleeping with you because I just feel so disconnected. You complain, that we don't have sex anymore, but how am I supposed to if I feel so disconnected?
yeah, well, I think that if we were to start the dates thing again, then it could possibly lead to more intimacy, but it wouldn't we have to have one step at a time. We can't just so
Okay.
and I don't really really feel close either. So.
Right. Okay, I'm just gonna maybe sum up a little bit and then we'll talk about some goals. So we have Rima and Rashid and your parents of, I don't know their names, but 11
Right.
and 7.
11 and 7.
And the issue is that you're not feeling connected to each other, you're lacking communication, you don't feel intimate, you don't feel like you want to be intimate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this,
Well, he does. I'm not. I don't.
okay,
Right.
He lets me know. But I am not.
okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Our
Rima-
daughter is very, very just defiant in general.
defiant, okay. And Rima would like you to be more supportive of her, especially with your family.
Yeah.
And also, she has an issue with the way that you parent, and you have an issue with the way she parents?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, in terms of the,
Yeah.
Okay.
the discipline.
So, let's talk about some goals.
Okay.
Now, what if you had to just pick one goal as a couple, as parents?
Right.
What would that be from all of that?
I guess I would start by saying I could work on standing up for her in front of my family when they attack her parenting style or something else like that.
Does that sound like a good goal for you at this
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
At
That
this
would
point.
be great. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to, I don't know, to be on the same page. I feel like with our parenting, it's just so, we're constantly fighting about it. Maybe come up with some sort of medium, some kind of compromise. I don't know. But we can't be fighting all the time because the kids have been complaining about it, and I just don't want that kind of home for them.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't really show us as good parents if we're fighting all the time, right?
Okay.
So.
How about you, Rima? Do you have a goal maybe that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just to be more connected. I can't explain it. Just it's a feeling of disconnect. Like we're just not really. Like we're just going through the motions, and like we're just not. It's like we've lost that spark that we used to have. So just to kind of get that connection, be on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we could start off, being on the same page, and then we could work towards bigger goals like going out more with just the two of us and like maybe getting a babysitter, obviously,
Okay.
or something like that.
And not your parents.
And not
That
yeah.
would really help me a lot.
Mhm.
Maybe not all the time. I want them to have a good relationship with their grandparents, but at the same time, I don't want them to be the only people watching them.
Okay.
Right.
So those are two really good goals. And then what about for your daughter? So this seems to be also a point
Yeah.
of contention that you're struggling with
Mhm.
how to discipline her, and you obviously have different ways of doing it. So
Yeah.
what would you like for her?
I mean, I'm comfortable with the spanking, but
Well, yeah, that's not gonna.
so I guess
don't
it's
think
not
that's
really
good.
gonna work.
I don't think it works on her either. I think when she gets spanked, she gets scared, and I just don't think that she likes.
Do you think that's why she gets so defiant when she knows she's in trouble, because she knows it'll maybe end up in a
It could
spank?
be, yeah.
Yeah, that might be one. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, could we talk
Yeah,
to the
but I
daughter
mean-
about it?
Well, we
Yeah,
have. I
so
mean,
much.
we've tried it. I don't know. I think she may even be. I don't know. She complains that we fight all the time. I mean,
Right.
maybe that. I don't know.
The children have ways of getting their parents to stop doing things. She might act out as a way to get
Right.
you to stop.
Um,
putting it on her instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, there definitely needs to be some type of agreement with the discipline.
Okay.
Should we see another like specialist that deals with that type of stuff, or is that not something that we need? Do you think?
Well, you could actually do family therapy where you would bring your children with you and work on it together. That's one way. Or you could, of course, go to a child specialist just for your children.
Mm-hmm.
I could refer you definitely to that.
Yeah, I think that would help a lot. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's see. I want to make sure we've got our goals, and so far, do you have any questions about anything?
Not the moment. Do you have a question?
I don't know. And so we come every week. Like, is it a once a week?
You could come once a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most common.
And can we bring our kids in session here, or are you saying we should be referred out, or how does that work?
It would depend. You could bring the children here. I am a marriage and family therapist trainee, so that is part of my training. Or if you're not comfortable with that, because now I've seen you as a couple, then I could refer you to another associate. Or you could also go via, your doctor could refer you. And then again, if you wanted to just have somebody focus on your child, there's child psychologists or child therapists who only deal with children.
Okay.
I did want to talk to you though about the spanking and if you wanted to try to alleviate that.
Yeah.
So one way is to become more aware of when you feel that's going to happen.
Okay.
Can you, if you were to think about when you are going to do that, is it just an impulse or?
Well, I would say, I get frustrated because their daughter isn't being respectful, and then once there's like a certain point where she becomes so defiant that I feel I need to spank her.
Okay.
So it could be, it
Just
might be
do
an
it without
impulse.
thinking about it. I mean,
yeah.
I know your parents did, and that's just how you think.
So you think it's an automatic? It's just a reaction to it.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm just thinking that when you